Hey everybody, this is Tim with Op-Ed Daily. I want to talk to you about a 2 week old story. Now you may be thinking, well, if it's old, why do I want to hear it? Well, because it proves that Republicans in our government are traitors of this nation. That may be a little harsh for me to say, and I'm not going to technically call them a traitor, but I'm going to say what they did was really, really, really close to it. So this old story has come back up in the news uh, because of new information that come out. But I'm going to talk about the old story and get everybody up to speed about that before I continue. So 2 weeks ago, 47 senators sent a letter to the Iranian government and basically said, hey, you need to stop negotiating with Barack. He's not going to be able to follow through on any of his stuff because that's not the way our government works. We're going to stop any negotiation, any treaties, anything. We're going to vote against it. And if the next president comes in there, is going to just do away with that treaty altogether. And they did this while Obama is negotiating nuclear peace with Iran. I'm sure there are other things within that negotiation as well, but for the most part, that's what this whole thing has been about. Now, some may say, well, I mean, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is because that's not their role in government. They can approve or disapprove foreign policy and treaties, but they cannot negotiate. That is not their role, and there's a good reason for that. The reason is that can you imagine the confusion for other countries when they received a letter from, these 50 representatives, and then 50 different representatives send a letter about something completely different that they want to negotiate with, and then other representatives, send in other things, just willy-nilly, just sending all this, all these requests over to this other country. That country's not going to know what the hell's going on. That's why it's important to let one person uh, control the discussion and negotiation, that person being the president. That's one of the reasons why we elect a president. He needs to be able to negotiate terms and agreements with other countries. If he doesn't have any means to communicate with other people, he can't be president because he has to negotiate deals with other countries. That's his role. That's one of his main roles. But according to the senators, they're going to do whatever they want to do. They're usurping the power of the presidency by inserting themselves in the discussion about uh, the deal with Iran. Now, this is a big issue. It really is an issue because uh, we separate these powers as a way of checks and balances. We don't want one branch getting too much control over any of the other branches. That's why we split them up so that they basically mitigate each other's powers. It's like, oh, you want to do that? Well, I don't agree. So I'm going to veto that. And then it has to go back and go through more channels. That's what makes our government so unique and so great, are these checks and balances. Yes, it makes it a little bit slower at times, especially when you have people that just stonewall. But in this case, what they did went way above and beyond what they should have been able to do, and it's really damn close to being treasonous. It's actually in violation of the Logan Act, which was passed in 1799. Basically says a citizen cannot contact another government and try to negotiate terms. I'm sure it says other things as well, but that's the gist of it. Now the senators are going to come back and spin that and say, well, we can because, we're part of the negotiation process. Wrong. They aren't part of the negotiation process. They can only approve or deny the end result of the negotiation process. There's a big difference. So I definitely believe that we should file charges against them and at least investigate this. And especially because of what I'm about to tell you. It turns out, and this came out today, it turns out their need or want to send this letter to Iran came because Israel was spying on the talks that the U.S. was having with Iran. And then Israel turned around and gave that information to these senators, to the lawmakers, to the ones that Israel knew would do something about it. And Tom Cotton and his little passel of idiots did just that. But in the process, they made themselves look foolish. They made themselves look like traitors to this nation because you have a president that is negotiating peace. He is using diplomacy to reach an end goal between two nations. And these guys go in there and purposefully say, you need to stop it because we don't like it. We don't like Iran, and we're never going to like Iran. And we love Israel, and we kiss Benjamin Netanyahu's ass every chance we get. So here you go. If you want to negotiate with Barack Obama, go ahead. But Obama can't do anything for you because we're not going to back him. You know, maybe they were trying to make Obama look bad, but they didn't do that. They made themselves look bad. And the fact that Israel would do that, and they are one of our largest allies, shows that you cannot trust Israel. Israel's trying to turn our government against itself. We cannot survive with a government that is in this much turmoil with each other. These Republicans need to learn their place, as does Obama. It wasn't okay when Obama used executive orders to usurp the powers of Congress. It was not okay when George Bush used the powers of the executive power to usurp the congressional powers. But this is about 10 to 20 times worse than that. This is anti-American. This is anti-peace. This is F you. We're going to do what we want to do. And here's my conspiratorial mind at work here. And you can quote me on this. This shows that as soon as a Republican president is put into office, this country will go to war with Iran. You watch. Israel has been wanting to go to war with Iran for quite some time now. And the Republicans are going to do it. This is indicative of that, of this complete and total. We aren't even going to talk to you, Iran, because we don't like you, and F you. We don't have to talk to you. Yeah, well, Iran doesn't have to talk to us either. And I also want to point out that Iran is a country that is largely non-violent around the world. They do not go around starting wars. Iran hasn't started a war or been in a big war for nearly 200 years now. And when they do get into it, they are willing to sit down and talk to people and work out a deal where both parties win. They are willing to do that. Iran is full of reasonable leaders. Now, unfortunately, their social aspect of the country isn't what I would call great. They don't like homosexuals. They don't like females. They don't like, I mean, there's a number of things, but that's a social and a cultural issue that Iranians need to deal with that has nothing to do with us. Because I can tell you what, 60 years ago, 50, 40 years ago even, we were the same way. We treated blacks like crap. We treated women like crap. We treated homosexuals like crap. We'd have people tying homosexuals up to the back of pickup trucks and dragging them for miles till they died. Or tying them to a damn post and beating the crap out of them until they died. That was America 60 years ago. So we can't really judge Iran. We don't really have that. Iran will come around sooner or later because the people will make them. But I want you guys to share this because this is an important message to get out. It's important. If you disagree, by all means, comment. But for now, that's it. Everybody have a good night, and I'll see you later.